IPL auction is, and there have been some surprise picks, some massive spending. Total spend आज के दिन में टीम्स का 167 crores का हुआ है. We've registered the highest ever purchases in IPL history. इससे पहले रिकॉर्ड था मॉरिस का, राजस्थान रॉयल्स ने 16.5 करोड़ का लिया था. हाईएस्ट सोल्ड इंडियन प्लेयर युवराज सिंह थे. इंडियन चेंज नहीं हुआ है, चीज का जरूर चेंज हो गया है. People going for 18.5 crores, 17.5 crores, 16.5 crores. Was this expected?
Certainly not, Ved. I think so. If you look at how the auction went, and for some of the players, like you mentioned, ki 18.5 crores is more than what you pay to retain a player at the number one spot. Basically, you are paying him more than जो आपने कैप्टन को देते हो in any of the teams. तो certainly बहुत surprises रहे हैं in how the auction went today. Some players were bought for very cheap. Some of the very good buys we will be discussing today. And on the other side, we knew who will be bought for very expensive prices. हमें पता था कि सैम करन, बेन स्टोक्स will be the ones जो बहुत महंगे बिकेंगे. There was a surprise in there for us as well who's going to get sold very expensive, and we will talk about that player as well. But
Are
again,
you talking
some
about
very good
Nicholas Putin?
buys. Certainly about one Nicholas Puran at 16.5 crores. But other than that, some very good picks, some very good budget picks that you're happy to see. And we were very surprised that, कि कुछ players जो very big names in the world of cricket and going on their base price and very quick early budget picks done today. So we can quickly move on,
बिल्कुल.
I think.
Yes, start करते हैं. आइए स्क्वाड पिक्स पे चलते हैं. We'll start with the KKR squad. So अधिराज रिटेन्ड और प्लेइंग 11 में नहीं जाएंगे. जितने भी हमारे व्यूअर्स देख रहे हैं, हम प्लेइंग 11 पे कल एक और वीडियो बनाएंगे फॉर ऑल द 10 टीम्स. दिस इज जस्ट ऑन हाउ द ऑक्शन वेंट फॉर दीज 10 टीम्स. हम सारी 10 टीम एक ही लिंक में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. तो अगर आपकी फेवरेट टीम आने वाली है, डू स्टे ट्यून, डू सब्सक्राइब. स्टार्टिंग विद केकेआर, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ दीस परचेजेस?
आई थिंक विद हमने कल डिस्कस किया था ऑलरेडी कि क्या बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं था. The team was mostly looking already settled. They wanted to plug in a few more places. And especially I think वो एक इंडियन टॉप ऑर्डर बैट्समैन की जरूरत थी शायद. They have got Jagdishan who's done very well recently. Long format में अच्छा खेलते हैं but recently have done.
यस, तो जगदीशन एक पिक थे. जगदीशन के अलावा केकेआर वेंट एंड बॉट शकीब अल हसन. शकीब अल हसन हैज बीन विद केकेआर फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम्स, एंड फिर उनको वापस लिया है 1.5 करोड़ का. शकीब के अलावा दे ऑल्सो गॉट लिटिन दास एंड डेविड वीसे. डेविड वीसे a very good buy at 1 crore, लिटिन दास at 50 lakhs. We saw how लिटिन दास performed against India. बट यस, कुछ इशू आया धीराज फीड को लाने में
j-
स्क्रीन पे.
yeah, just I think getting back there's some issue with my laptop. But yes, discussing going back to KKR, I'll just get it back up. Like you
Yeah, you
mentioned,
get back up. Till then, I'll tell our viewers about the top five buys that happened today. Number one by Sam Curran, 18.5 crores going to Punjab Kings. Second highest by Cameron Green. जैसे उन्हें इंडिया में खेला थोड़े था बिकेंगे, बट प्रॉब्ली आई डेंट एक्सपेक्ट कैमरन ग्रीन टू गो टू मुंबई फॉर 17.5 करोड़. स्पेशली जब मुंबई का बजट ही 19.5 करोड़ था. उसमें स्पेंडिंग close to 90% of your today's purse on one player when you need to buy 8 9 players was a very bold decision that Mumbai took. Third highest, Ben Stokes. Chennai has found a future captain. Dhoni ka most probably is going to be his last year. So for next year, Chennai has a ready captain in Ben Stokes. And number four, Nicholas Pooran going to Lucknow. I think one very big surprise for me. I didn't expect Nicholas Pooran, especially last year बिके थे 10.5 करोड़ के. फॉर्म अच्छा रहा नहीं. वेस्ट इंडीज ने T20 वर्ल्ड कप में क्वालिफाई नहीं किया, एंड स्टिल they got Nicholas Pooran back at a more than 60% higher price. So it was very unexpected. And fifth highest was Harry Brook going to SRH. Coming back to KKR, Adhiraj, any other surprise? And we've discussed the key players bought by KKR.
I think with it, I'm happy to see Shakib come back to KKR, even though उनके पास वो जगह नहीं है शायद इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स को खिलाने की. They already
Yes.
have, I think, 3 or 4 slots readied up. But I think
है,
वो बैकअप जो
ऑलरेडी है. मतलब रसेल हरीन है. इसके बाद ये आ जाएंगे
र-
आप. They've spent good money on Saudi, Loki Ferguson. So टफ तो है यार उनका खेलना, पर प्लेइंग 11 पे नहीं घुसते हैं, चलते हैं अगले स्क्वाड पे।
Certainly, I think
सो
let's move on to
क्या
the
सबको
next one,
पता
Vidit.
था their playing 11 is sorted, थोड़े बैकअप्स खरीदने हैं, they've got a few backups, but still अगर मैं बोलूँ रसल जैसे इंजर्ड रहते हैं, so they still don't have a hitter। रसल का कोई बैकअप हो नहीं सकता, but still रसल का भी बैकअप नहीं है,
I
शकीब
think
to some
one or two good buys with if you see at KKR, I think Liton Das को base price पे लिया है, and again David Vise who's done well. I think वो रसल का बैकअप
extent।
शायद अगर देखें तो वीजे ही हैं जो जाए आई थिंक जहाँ आगे
बिल्कुल।
आगे, आगे फिट होंगे, बट ओवरऑल आई थिंक गुड ऑप्शन में जो उनके पास वैसा रिमेनिंग था उसके हिसाब से देव बॉट अ फ्यू गुड प्लेयर्स एंड इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू सी कि जगदीशन कैसा करते हैं अगर वो प्लेइंग 11 में आते हैं, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आई थिंक फॉर देम.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next squad, versus Chennai Super Kings. Adiraj, Ben Stokes 2024 captain confirmed.
Certainly looks like with it. I think so. I am more surprised कि CSK went for Stokes rather than Karan. Karan उनके साथ खेले
Yeah,
हैं पहले.
isn't Stokes a better more captain material than Karan any day?
I agree, and I think वो problem रहेगी with Punjab also because धवन को captaincy दी, and I don't see Karan becoming captain, and you are literally paying Karan a lot more. But again, I was only surprised with it because Karan खेले हैं पहले CSK के लिए, and he's done well with CSK. So I was more surprised कि वो team synergy. I think Dhoni knows how good Karan is.
यार 16 करोड़ थे ही नहीं ना यार, मतलब दे बिड फॉर सैम करन टिल 12-13 करोड़ जितना बजट था। राजस्थान के पास टोटल 13 करोड़ थे, वो 12.5 करोड़ तक बिड कर रहे हैं, 9 प्लेयर खरीदे हैं।
But आप
बट
देखिए
आई
because आप
पर्सनली इफ
देखिए
यू आस्क
Karan.
मी, आई थिंक फॉर अ टीम दैट नीड्स अ कैप्टन, स्टोक्स इज अ बेटर बाय देन करन।
No, I agree, but and obviously because एक बात है स्टोक्स के साथ because वो फ्लेमिंग और धोनी के साथ पुणे के टाइम पे काम कर चुके हैं, they have
यस।
played together, so that point is definitely there. Again, not saying Stokes is better or Karan is better. Karan probably has more IPL experience. Stoke has not done that well in the IPL, but again, on his day, we all know with the Test captaincy now with him for the England team, Stokes has looked like a very different player, very mature player, and again, certainly captaincy after Dhoni next season, I think Stokes is one for CSK.
बिल्कुल, आई ऑल्सो थिंक ही इज द फ्यूचर कैप्टन। टू मोर बाइज, वन आई लाइक काइल जेमिसन, 2021 में 14-15 करोड़ के गए थे आरसीबी में, 2022 का सीजन खरीद खेला नहीं था, एंड नाउ गोइंग एट बेस प्राइस एट 1 करोड़, आई थिंक दैट्स अ स्टील। अदिराज, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ अजिंक्य रहाणे बाय, मतलब बेंच वार्म करने के लिए लिया 50 लाख पे, या सीएसके मतलब पुजारा को भी लिया था, अब एक और टेस्ट प्लेयर चाहिए उनको अपने स्क्वाड में।
आई थिंक डेफिनेटली एक्सपीरियंस जो लीडरशिप है रहाने की, आई थिंक दैट विल हेल्प केएसके, एंड अगेन हम जानते हैं कि रायडू को लिया गया है टीम में एज एन इंडियन मिडिल ऑर्डर बैट्समैन, सो इट्स पॉसिबल कि शायद रहाने को कैन गेट अ फ्यू गेम्स इन इफ रायडू इज नॉट डूइंग दैट वेल, बट अगेन एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर टफर टू मेक रहाने प्ले एट 4 और 5, तो मुश्किल होगा डेफिनेटली, बट अगेन आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट द एक्सपीरियंस दैट रहाने विल bring into the squad for the youngsters in the playing 11. So don't see him playing a lot of matches. I think so.
Even I agree with that. Let's move on to the next squad. No other big name signed by CSK. They also had a playing 11 started. They've got Ben Stokes for 16 crores. ज़्यादा पैसे बचे नहीं थे। अगली टीम पे चलते हैं। अगली टीम Delhi Capitals. Very few buys today. Adiraj, any surprise pick?
I think Manish Pandey is a surprise pick for me, whichever team he goes for now. He has literally, changed teams every season, if not every alternate season. Surprised to see again Ishant Sharma getting a call. I don't see him playing a lot for DC. So both the Indian picks that I found, I think they're both backups. If things go really bad for DC and they don't really have someone who's having a very off season, maybe Manish Pandey gets a chance to play, and even Ishant Sharma. But again, good picks in terms of Phil Salt and Riley Rusu. I think Rusu can get some game time in this DC squad. Has done well recently. T20 में काफी अच्छा बैटिंग कर रहे हैं. तो happy to see Riley Rusu going to DC. But again, they had money left. I
बिल्कुल
was very
अभिलाष,
surprised.
राइली रूसो अनसोल्ड गए थे, अ प्लेयर हु स्कोर्ड 2 T20 इंटरनेशनल सेंचुरीज दिस ईयर, बट इन पांचों में ना सबसे महंगा जो डीसी ने खरीदा दैट वाज मुकेश कुमार एट 5.5 करोड़। 2021 सीजन जीरो बिड्स एट 20 lakhs, 2022 5.5 करोड़। People have not heard of him, haven't seen too much of him. But yes, DC certainly saw something. बाकी टीम से भी bidding आई थी. But yes, Phil Salt at 2 crores, very good buy, very attacking player, 150 plus strike rate. तो फिल सॉल्ट एक अच्छी बाय है। ईशांत शर्मा 50 लाख में मिले, मुझे भी नहीं लगता खेलेंगे। मनीष पांडे के लिए 2.5 करोड़ जरूर दिए, बट हाँ, इवन आई थिंक ही इज प्रॉबेबली अ बैकअप प्लेयर अगर रखना चाहे तो। मार्च पता है फिट अनफिट रहते रहते हैं, तो मनीष पांडे कैन प्रॉब्ली प्ले दैट नंबर 3 रोल फॉर डीसी if needed. And Ryrie also went unsold, came back in the accelerated auction, and then went for about 4.4 crores. So that was good to see. So DC squad settled था. अभी भी इनके पास पंत का एक proper backup Indian wicket keeper नहीं. They had KS Bharat last time जाने दिया. So I think that is one gap in the squad, which I see. Moving on to the next squad. Next squad is Mumbai Indians. Adiraj 17.5 crores. Mumbai paid the most for Ishan Kishan at 15.5. 2 crore आगे बढ़ा दिया है. What do you think of that?
Uh, I think मुझे लगता है personally I knew I think probably Cameron Green will get a lot of money along with Sam Curran. I felt Ben Stokes, Sam Curran, and Cameron Green were the three picks I felt will be the ones who will probably get more than 15 CR, and that's what happened. Surprised to see that Mumbai went with Cameron Green as compare. I mean, they also bid for other players, but again, Cameron Green has done well uh, for Australia. He can open the batting. He can play in the middle order. Can bat lower down the order as well, and can give you a few overs. So certainly he's probably a replacement for the loss of Pollard that Mumbai has got, and he's one for the long term for Mumbai as well. But again, it's a lot of money if you think about it. With it, 17.5 crores. We saw with Kishan as well. It happened. That that pressure of that price tag pressure will remain with Cameron Green. Big name
पता नहीं
has
विराट ये
not had.
इंडियंस के साथ ही प्रेशर आता है या बाहर वाले प्लेयर्स के साथ आता नहीं आता
नहीं वेद
बट
if you
यस
remember all of the internationals who also Stokes के साथ हुआ था he was bought for very high amount I think 2 years ago and did not perform well in the IPL. So that pressure will always remain. One of the most expensive players picked up this season, but again, not just Cameron Green. Very, I think, still a good buy because he will definitely start into the playing 11 directly and start for Mumbai. But other than that, if you look at it, Jai Richardson, I think it's a very good pick with it. They've got him for the brace price, I think. So if uh,
यस
as
बेस
compared to
प्राइस
what
1.5 crores.
yeah, they've got it for the base price. Again, Piyush Chawla, because you were talking about Mumbai not having a proper spinner, they've picked up the oldie. I see him playing, I think so, honestly, because they don't have any other option. They don't have a spinner, and he's a leg spinner again. So I think they've done the best they could to pick up a spinner, or at least an Indian spinner, if possible. So surprised to see him back in the action. It'll be interesting to see if Mumbai gets him a few games. Probably Ritik Shokeen probably pays ahead of him, I think so right now for me. But happy with Cameron Green and Jai Richardson. If
They
if
have Kumar
Archer is not
Karthik
available.
also who's done very well. Kumar Karthik has done very well as a spinner. अदिराज थोड़े आप सरप्राइज थे जब मुरुगन अश्विन को 20 लाख नहीं लिया. जगदीशा सुचित वेन अनसोल्ड, श्रेयस गोपाल वेन अनसोल्ड, एंड सुचित have been a part of Mumbai Indian camp. यार इनको बेस प्राइस पे क्यों नहीं ले रही है मुंबई?
I think, like you said, Vidit, ki I think thoda sa trust hai on Kumar Karthik. I think they know that probably these guys are there, and I think Piyush Chawla has been brought in as a veteran of the game. Obviously, he will give the experience to the youngsters. Probably play a few games also, but I think they are trusting. They're putting that all their eggs in that basket of Kumar Karthik and Ritik Shokeen, and probably them getting those chances to bowl the spin option for Mumbai Indians. Again, not happy with the spin options Mumbai has with it, not at all. In the past, we've had some very great spinners in the squad, but certainly, I think Mumbai will still miss one place that they will be missing. Will be that spin bowling option.
अदिराज जी झाई रिचर्डसन अच्छा ऑप्शन है 1.5 करोड़ पर. आपने बेरेंडॉफ ले लिया, आपने डुआन जैनसन ले लिया है. आप एक इंटरनेशनल स्पिनर क्यों नहीं ले सकते? मुझे समझ नहीं आया. जैम्पा
I
डेढ़
agree
करोड़
with
में
that.
गए हैं. आदिल राज, व्हाट वुड यू प्रेफर, जैम्पा और झाई रिचर्डसन एट 1.5 करोड़?
I would certainly, I think, probably prefer Zampa with no doubt. Zampa is a match winner, wicket taker hai. My only issues, I think, is Jai Richardson ki jo buy hai is probably as a backup because I think people are still not sure if Archer is going to be available. I think the same for Behrendorff. I think that trade happened because people are not sure if Archer will be fully fit and available. So I think that talk still remains, and I think even for Richardson, this is all as a backup. अगर Archer नहीं आते हैं, then they need someone as a backup. But I agree. I think they could have gone for an international spinner. Base price पे अगर आप pick up कर पाते हो उन्हें, that option always remains with you. चाहे आप नहीं खिलाते, that's a different thing. But वो option तो रहता है आपके पास जो अब मुंबई के पास बिल्कुल भी नहीं है.
I think spin is one very weak department. विष्णु की अच्छी साइनिंग है 20 lakhs. I really like that. एक और डेब्यू शाम्स मुलानी काफ़ी अच्छा बाय है 20 lakhs. अंकित शर्मा कह रहे हैं कि नो नीड फॉर कैमरन ग्रीन, ही विल बी वेस्टेड इन एमआई. अंकित देखो 17.5 लाख का खरीद लिया है, तो यार
Crore, Vidit,
खेलना तो
crore,
पक्का
not
है,
lakh.
ये वेस्ट तो नहीं होगा. एंड ही डिड वेल इन द इंडिया सीरीज. लेट्स सी हाउ वेल ही डज इन द मुंबई पिच. अधिराज चलते हैं अगले स्क्वाड पे.
Yeah, let's move on.
नेक्स्ट स्क्वाड maximum purse, maximum buys. Adiraj started with the highest sale of Harry Brook at 13.25. Happy with that number. And Mayank at 8.25. तो combined हुआ 21.5 इन दोनों का. What do you think of Harry Brook and Mayank Agarwal's buy?
I think both are very good buys with it, and obviously Harry Brook is a great batsman upcoming. I think Ben Stokes has said that he is the Virat Kohli of the England squad because he's able to play all the three formats very well. He can pace the innings very well. He can hit the long ball. So I think a great pick. And when I now compare him to the likes of Nicholas Pooran, who's gone for 16.5 crores, I think Harry Brook is a much better pick. Uh, very happy that they were able to get Mayank Agarwal. Again, interesting to see if he captains the Sunrise Hyderabad squad now. But I think 21 crores for those two players, I think they had settled in. SRH had done very good bidding at the start to get these two. A solid middle order, lower middle order batsman, probably at Harry Brooks, who can bat at 4, 5, 6 at any place. And Mayank as an opener. So I think very happy with those two picks, and not just them. But if you look ahead, they have done some good business. They got Henrik Klassen, so they have that wicket keeper option available for them if they
Just
feel like
personally,
playing.
I'm very surprised with Henrik Klassen pick at 5.25 crores. यार साउथ अफ्रीका के लिए रेगुलर नहीं है, आईपीएल में लास्ट टाइम खेले नहीं है. 5.25 करोड़. आपने 4 फॉरेनर्स अपना कोटा पूरा कर दिया था. ठीक है, आपने हैरी ब्रुक को लिया बिकॉज यू हैव मार्करम, यू हैव ग्लेन फिलिप्स कैन कीप बाइंग
Yeah, yeah,
क्लासन.
I think that's the backup. I feel Glenn Phillips will start for them, but I think it's just that if Phillips has an off season, then Klassen comes in as a replacement for him and probably will keep. That's my understanding. And I agree. As a backup, आप 5.5 crore दे रहे हैं किसी international player के लिए, but I think that's what it is. It's literally the backup for Glenn Phillips or कुछ नहीं. Klassen will not get to play most games. Glenn Phillips will be the one who's going to be picked up ahead of him.
Absolutely. Another, they spent around 2.5 crores on Vivran Sharma, another Indian debut player. Mayank Markande getting sold at 50 lakhs base price. Ankit Sharma कह रहे हैं this is the team to beat this season. They've let go of a captain. Captain नहीं है अभी, कोई settled wicket keeper नहीं है, but yes, team looks very very solid on paper. हमने already बोला हुआ है कि SRH का bowling attack is very very good. They
And
have an
again, with it,
Indian.
that pick of Rashid, obviously their Indian bowling is very solid. To get
Yeah.
Rashid in as well, he's got the experience. World Cup, mein how good he was for the England team. And again, if he can get to play him as well, if he fits in into that, four or overseas all rounders, depending on where they are playing, probably on what track they are playing, Rashid can be a handy bowler who will be a wicket taker for them. So happy to see. Obviously, they let go of Rashid and had a very off season, but I think Rashid, again, a very good buy. So I think those top four buys, three international and one Mayank Agarwal, I feel very good business done. They still had money left by the end of it because not enough players, I think, that they wanted to pick. But happy with how it's looking and happy to see Mayank probably getting the captaincy again. And, maybe the change of color, change of team for Mayank, bring some good luck for him and the squad.
Adhiraj, will Mayank open here because they had opted with Abhishek Sharma as an opener last season? Kane Williamson नहीं है, तो लेफ्टी राइटी कॉम्बो हो सकता है, या will Markram come in the opening slot?
No, I think it's certainly going to be Mayank with it. 100% it's Abhishek and Mayank who probably opens for me. Rahul Tripathi comes three. And then a Markram and a Harry Brooks, or a Harry Brooks or a Markram, however it fixed
And
out. That's the top five for
you
me.
have Glenn Phillips also, so it's a solid lineup. And Washington Sundar, who been doing so well for India, so very good
Even
solid.
Marco Janssen can come and bat low down the order. So I think that team looks solid already, I feel.
And they have Abdul Samad as a backup. They've retained him, continued with him. Whosoever is new to the channel, do subscribe. We are discussing all the 10 teams. Adhiraj, चलते हैं अगली टीम के ऊपर. This is Rajasthan Royals. They had one solid buy, and that was it in the initial start. They just got Jason Holder at 5.75 crores. लोग कह रहे थे यार राजस्थान रॉयल्स कर क्या रही ऑक्शन में, समझ ही नहीं आया. But Adhiraj, talk him key buy. Is Holder a good buy at 5.75 considering राजस्थान को एक फिनिशर चाहिए था? They had an extra overseas slot left. Indian ज़्यादा हैं teams में, पराग को खिला रहे थे. Can Jason Holder completely fit that slot?
Uh, I mean, obviously, he's not the Jason Holder of the old with it. I have always admired Jason Holder as a batsman. He's a very good opening bowler, can give you good 4 overs. Certainly a bowling all rounder. Won't call him a batting all rounder. But on any given team, on any given day, I think Holder can play that role. Something like a Pat Cummins. Maybe not as destructive as Pat Cummins was last season for KKR, but again, similar to Pat Cummins, I feel. Obviously, he's getting old, but in any squad, I think at five crores at the price around that, I think he's a very good buy. And he fits in well with the Rajasthan team, which is very attacking bowling lineup. They have Bolt, they have the likes of Prasidh Krishna. If that bowling attack will get bolstered by an addition of Jason Holder. Again, happy to see, like you said, that they were not into the auction as much. They didn't buy a lot because they were outbid. Honestly, they literally went for every player
Yes.
possible, every big player possible, and they were just outbid. They went for Sam Curran, they went for Ben Stokes, and they were
विराज
just
एक
outbid by the
चीज
other
आप मुझे
teams.
समझाओ, आपके पास बजट है 13.25 का, आपको 9 प्लेयर खरीदने हैं. आप अपने पहले प्लेयर के लिए 13 करोड़ की बिड भी कैसे डाल सकते हो? आप बाकी 8 प्लेयर 25 लाख में लोगे?
I think with it, minimum quota, I think Rajasthan had already, I think, covered, if I'm not wrong. So I
अरे
think you
पर
have a
बैकअप
minimum
बेंच
squad.
स्ट्रेंथ भी एक चीज होती है ना, मतलब यार, ग्रूमिंग
So I
प्लेयर्स,
think they were
हैविंग
confident of
इंजरी.
what they had. That I can only say because, like you said, likely because 13 crore, they were ready to pay 13 crores. That means they had nothing
Yes.
left after that, basically.
25 लाख बचते 8 प्लेयर के लिए.
I think,
Adiraj, coming to
again,
the next two buys they've done at the base price, one of Adam Zampa, one of Joe Root. Coming to Joe Root first, are you surprised he's back in the IPL? Because he doesn't play for India, or for England, sorry.
yeah, I think, see, I'm surprised that he was picked. Honestly, he was unsold, I think, in the first round. Again, came back in the auction and then was picked. Uh, but I'm happy to see him. Even if he gets a game or two for Rajasthan, again, if you remember, like a few seasons ago, Smith was picked up, I think last season by DC, and we all know that Smith is
Hmm.
not the kind of player who will get chances, but he did get a few games in because of injuries or for someone else or the other missing. So I don't see him playing there. Over the overseas quota is already fixed with Butler, Hetmeyer, a Bolt, probably now Jason Holder filling in that fourth squad. But again, if Hetmeyer is not having a kind of a season where he's just not finishing games for them, and Holder is able to come in and play that role as a finisher in the end, I do see Root getting a few games. He's not the ideal player as a T20 player. Again, I totally agree. But if you remember, the problem with Rajasthan was that if Butler gets out early, if Pradikal is not played, Sanju gets out early, the team is very fragile after a point of time. So
Yeah.
Root can actually come in and steady the ship. I don't see him playing a lot of games, but happy to see him because we all know how good he is. I think if you compare him to something like a Kane Williamson, I think he's a very similar batsman to Kane Williamson. Probably bat around 100 ka
अविनाश,
strike rate.
केन विलियमसन अपनी नेशनल टीम के लिए भी T20 स्क्वाड और रेगुलर प्लेइंग 11 है, जो रूट नहीं है. तो वो एक
Again,
कंसर्न है, पर प्रॉब्ली
so
इंडियंस
starter,
टॉप
obviously
7 इज टू
starter
स्ट्रॉन्ग.
definitely nahi hai Vidit, agar aap dekhein, he's not a starter, but we all know how good a batsman he is. So certainly, I would say a good pick. Will not get to play a lot of games, but I'm happy to see him and I want to see him actually play. That's the more important, I feel.
नहीं, एक गेम मैं देखना चाहूंगा, पर मुझे नहीं लगता एक दो गेम से ज्यादा मिलेगी. बट अदरवाइज जैम्पा एट 1.5. जब से जैम्पा ये कोविड के टाइम आईपीएल छोड़ के गए, तब से कोई टीम उनको खरीदना ही नहीं चाह रही. इस बार भी बेस प्राइस पे बिके हैं. सो यस, राजस्थान डिडंट डू अ लॉट ऑफ शॉपिंग, बट यस, होल्डर इज अ गुड बाय एट 5.75. आई थिंक दैट्स अ वैल्यू बाय. एट 8 करोड़ मुझे लगता था होल्डर इज अ गुड वर्थ. 5.75 वेरी गुड बाय.
Certainly, yeah.
Going to the next squad, whosoever is new to the channel, do like, subscribe, because we'll be covering the entire IPL. So do subscribe to Sports Taza. फटाफट subscribe बटन का दबाइए. चलते हैं लोगों की सबसे favorite team, RCB. Haven't won the cup but have a massive fan base. Their playing 11 was the same that played the last match for RCB. And this is not usual for an RCB team. Adhiraj, do you think, I'll talk about two specific buys first. One is Reece Topley, one is Will Jacks, both English players. How important are these two backups for RCB?
I think I'm very surprised that they were able to get Reece Topley so cheap.
1.9
He is
crores.
Yeah, I think that's a very good buy RCB. Uh, he is, I mean, he's done well for England recently, I think so. He's a good bowler, good finisher, can bowl in the death, which is what RCB has, lacked in all these years. They're not able to finish the game off as a bowling unit, I feel. Their batting has already always been the strong point, but the bowling has not been that good. And again, like we talked about, that the team was more or less settled. They did not need a lot of places to fill, gaps to fill in, I feel. So very happy to see Reece Topley. Will Jacks, has recently played for England. I don't see him getting a lot of chances with RCB again. But definitely happy to see Reece Topley get into the squad, and I think he will be getting a few games for RCB this season.
बट देखिए विल जैक्स ने बैकअप ले लिया हसरंगा का टू सम एक्सटेंट. विल जैक्स भी बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर है, स्पिनर है. नो मैच टू हसरंगा, बट टॉपली आई थिंक इज अ वेरी वेरी गुड बैकअप टू हेजलवुड. हेजलवुड विल स्टार्ट, but he's
Yeah,
Topley at 1.9 crores, I think a very good buy because, as you said, he bowls in the opening power play, he bowls at the death, takes wickets, is a wicket taker which RCB needs. So RCB का base solid था,
I
बैकअप
think
चाहिए
one question
कोई
with my issue with RCB, and you let me know, is that they still don't have that finisher. I feel that number 6 is what I feel is still missing, because Maxwell 4 पर बैटिंग करने आएंगे इनके लिए, अगर आप देखिए. Maxwell had come
हम्म.
at 4, and then they have a DK who either bats at a 5 or a 6, and Hasaranga after that. There is no solid finisher. I thought they will be looking
देखिए
for
they
one.
did not release महिपाल लोमरो और they did not release अनुज रावत. अनुज रावत को ओपनिंग में बहुत चांसेस दिए, लोमरो को थोड़े चांसेस मिले, बट प्रॉब्ली इन दोनों में से किसी के साथ काम वापस चलाना पड़ेगा. सुयश प्रभु देसाई भी है, बट स्टिल एक इंडियन को स्टेप अप करने का एक मौका मिला है बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट बॉट एनी अदर नोन इंडियन फेस एटलीस्ट. सो
Yeah,
आई इट विल बी आइदर महिपाल लोमरो हु स्टार्ट्स एंड ही हैव टू शो हिज वर्थ. दे हैव शोन हिज फेथ ऑन हिम, तो कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा बॉस.
certainly.
और दे बैट डीप यार, हसरंगा है, हर्षल पटेल है नीचे डीके के बाद. सो बैटिंग तो है, ऐसी बात नहीं है कि आरसीबी के पास बैटिंग नहीं है. चलते हैं अगले स्क्वाड पे. अगला स्क्वाड जीटी, द करंट चैंपियन, फर्स्ट पिक ऑफ टुडे, केन विलियमसन 2 crores.
pick of
अधिराज
pick of pick of the auction, I feel. With For me, I
पिक ऑफ
was
द.
very surprised. I honestly think I was very
अधिराज मैंने
surprised.
आपसे बेट लगाई थी 5 crore के नीचे नीचे बिकेंगे, तो 2 crore में चल दिए.
Uh, I think he's one of the best buys. Honestly, like they were looking for an opener. We talked about maybe Saha can play and open the innings for them, but I think Kane Williamson slots in as easy as possible. He opens the innings with with the Shubman Gill. Uh, and at 2 crores, I mean, he's dirt cheap. I mean, he's coming from a 14 crore contract from SRH.
16.
Obviously, 16 crore contract from SRH. Sorry. Um, Obviously not good for the player himself, but I think he is. I mean, his captaincy, his leadership, what he brings to the team, he's an amazing fielder. And at 2 crores, an opening batsman that they needed, Wade was not working out for them. I don't know if Wade still gets to play in this squad, but what a buy! I'm just super happy with how GT has done, because we've all talked about, was GT a one season wonder? Will they not come back, and will it happen again? I think with that buy, they have shown that they can actually do it again this season. Just one
नो
buy that I'm
एब्सोल्युटली,
very happy
2
about.
crores आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी गुड बाय. बहुत सवाल उठे हैं केन विलियमसन के रेट को लेके, पर 2 crore में अगर केन विलियमसन मिल रहे हैं तो बात भी करनी चाहिए. इट्स अ स्टील. अगर कभी भी हार्दिक पांड्या इंजर होते हैं, दे हैव टू रेडी बैकअप
Yep.
कैप्टन, वन डेविड मिलर, वन केन विलियमसन. सो दैट ओपनिंग स्लॉट, if Kane Williamson attacks, can be at 2 crores very good. 2 3 more
And they
good
have
buys.
Gill with it. If you see, Gill overseas an attacking opener for them, so they needed someone, I think so, to be a
पर
matching
देखिए यार
pair for
गिल
him.
को भी ना, he cannot attack from the ball go. He needs the 500 run season. He has to
He
anchor
does,
the innings.
but if you see, then the fact with them is that they have. If you look at that 3 4 whatever 4 5 6 for them, with Hardik, Miller, and Tewatia, they can finish any game strong. That's the good part about GT, I feel. So they needed that someone to come on top and fix that
And don't
the
forget
opening.
Rashid Khan in the finisher thing.
Obviously, certainly, and I mean that's how deep they back. But certainly that Hardik, if any match, if Hardik is playing 20 overs, or if a Miller is playing till the 20th over, I think getting a target on board will not be a problem for them. I think it's the problem with GT was always that they were already like 25 for 2 in every game,
Yeah.
or 25 for 3 in every game. So I think that is where Kane Williamson will really help them out.
नो आई एग्री एंड इवन हम कह रहे थे उनको एक ओपनर और नंबर थ्री चाहिए. नंबर थ्री पे भी के एस भरत हु डिड वेरी वेल फॉर आरसीबी लास्ट सीजन डिडंट गेट टू प्ले क्योंकि डीसी में पंत नंबर वन ऑप्शन थे.
Yeah.
KS Bharat at 1.2 crores, Kane Williamson at 2
Okay.
crores, very good buys. Two another buys which I liked. Shivam Mavi, thoda महंगा, शायद 6 crores, bit expensive for his price tag. And Joshua Little, the Ireland bowler going at 4.4 crores. So Adhiraj, Joshua Little has impressed everyone. Took a hat trick
Yeah.
in the World Cup, left arm, lot of variations, and Shivam Mavi at 6 crores. Are you surprised with these two picks?
I think with it, we did know that Indian fast bowlers will still go for a lot of money. Indian pacers, especially, I think so. I think last season in the main auction also we saw them for going 8 crores and 10 crores. That's what they were going for because these people. I mean, every team kind of needed someone who's a little bit more
पर
experienced instead of
अधिराज
finding.
मावी बिके थे 7.25 crores के last season. I remember KKR bought him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
struggled. They made him
struggled.
play 4 or 5 games. ड्रॉप किया, एक गेम लाए, ड्रॉप किया, बहुत रन खाए. तो यार
Yeah.
वापस 6 करोड़ मतलब कुछ तो दिखा है, कुछ तो ट्रस्ट है.
I'm sure. I think again, like you said, even when KKR would have bought him for 7 crore, I'm sure they would have scouted him well, and they looked at, I think maybe he's got that pace, or probably he's improved from season on season. And then again, GT, if you look at it with it, if you look at their fast bowling options that they have available right now, I was very surprised when they let go of Lockie
लॉकी
Ferguson because he was the one who was providing all the pace to them. They do
अधिराज
have
maybe
the likes.
10.75 was a bit too expensive.
Yeah, certainly. I think obviously very. I'm not saying that he was the money was worth it because again, I don't really see Mavi playing all games. Honestly, I don't see him playing all games, so I'm surprised that they paid so much for him. But again, they don't have a very good bowling attack right now. I feel with Lockie Ferguson gone, it's interesting to see who they pick up because Rashid, Miller, and probably Kane Williamson are done. That's the three
और
already locked in.
Alzari Joseph will be first preference अगर struggle करते हैं
Yeah,
तो जोशुआ.
yeah, that I think that is the plan. If I'm not wrong, like you mentioned, ki Joseph will start, and then Little can is the backup for basically Alzari's Joseph. That is the plan. So let's see how Mavi comes into the plan because if they're paying 6 crore from him, they might as well, he might actually get some games like he did for KKR. And
think
if he
he's
does
gonna
well,
play at least 10 games out of 14 यार. 7-6 करोड़ दिए, इंडियन बॉलर हैं. खेलना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि शमी का भी पता नहीं कितना चलेंगे, कितनी फिटनेस है नहीं है.
I mean, Shami
आई
was very
आई
good last.
Mavi
He was
playing.
very good last season, yeah. Yeah, I mean, certainly. I think he will get to play. Probably, maybe not start this season if everyone's fit and available for GT. But again, the amount of money they've given him, I think he will definitely get a few games, more than a few
Another
games
player
actually.
got sold for 7.5 crores in Punjab, got sold today at base price, Odean Smith. Yes, we've known his talent, but he struggled in the IPL. So 7.5 करोड़ तो मतलब स्कैम ही था. 50 लाख भी स्कैम ही बोलूंगा. मतलब ही इज नॉट वर्थ बोथ दीज अमाउंट्स. Another player, our Indian back of the hand OG bowler Mohit Sharma is back, being sold at 50 lakhs. So Dhiraj, थोड़ा सरप्राइज्ड हो आप क्या? ईशांत शर्मा बिक रहे हैं, मोहित शर्मा भी बिक रहे हैं, या अमित मिश्रा बिके हैं, पीयूष चावला बिके हैं, और नहीं इनको अनसोल्ड ही जाना चाहिए था.
I think spinners का तो हम जानते रहे with it for sure बिकेंगे. I think every team was they needed the
अमित मिश्रा का
spinners.
शॉट एट 40 years.
I think with even if he doesn't get to play, I think the whole point is even if he doesn't get to play, जो experience वो impart करेंगे at base price if you're going, I think so that's more than enough. At times you've seen the players coming into the squad only because of this experience they provide. And and I if you remember we were talking about how a lot of teams require spinners and spinners है ही नहीं. Indian spinners at least है ही नहीं. So the likes of Piyush Chawla and Amit Mishra getting sold was high. अब हाउ मेनी गेम्स दे गेट टू प्ले आई थिंक ज्यादा गेम्स खेलने को नहीं मिलेंगे बट आई थिंक बिकॉज दे दैट मेंटरशिप इज व्हाट दे प्रोवाइड आई थिंक उसके लिए लिया गया है फॉर श्योर सो ओडियन स्मिथ का
अगर
अगर आप बात
ऑप्शन
करें
अभी देखो, ऑप्शन होनी नहीं है टाइम कुछ टाइम तक, तो थोड़ी वांट प्लेयर्स हु विल be in the squad at least for 3 years. I don't see Amit Mishra being in the squad for
या
3 years.
certainly
Ishant
with
Sharma
again
being in the squad.
I think with the fact that you will release people out of the contract also, and I think we'll see that happening in the years to come because these are again 1 2 seasons. Ishant, Amit Mishra, like you mentioned, certainly I don't see them being there in the squad year on year unless Mishra ji can have a freak of a season and picks up some 7, 8, 10 wickets, which is unlikely. He is the man
बिल्कुल.
who's picked up a few hat tricks,
Yes,
but I don't see it happen. But again, I think it's all for the experience. I think there's
I agree.
don't see them playing a lot of games.
I agree. Moving on to the next squad, and whosoever is new to the channel, do subscribe. We're discussing all the 10 teams. We're doing a quick preview of the squads and the people bought today. Adiraj, the man who's created history, Punjab Kings, bought Sam Curran for 18.5 crores. Player of the series in the T20 World Cup. थोड़ा सा वहाँ बूस्ट आना ही था, लास्ट सीजन इंजर्ड थे, तो एक्सपेक्टेड था ये प्राइस टैग. अब मैं आपको एक दो फैक्ट बताता हूँ. सैम करन 18.5 करोड़, सैम करन प्लस सिकंदर राज 19 करोड़. 19 करोड़ वाला ठीक लग रहा है.
Huh, I think that Raza buy, I think neutralizes a little bit, but again, I don't see how he fits into the squad right now. I mean, he certainly is a very good all rounder. Sikandar Raza has
गुड
done so
बैकअप
well.
फॉर लिविंगस्टन मैन. 50 लाख पे देखो, 5 करोड़ पे बैकअप नहीं चाहिए, 50 लाख पे आपको लिविंगस्टन का बैकअप मिल रहा है, तो क्या दिक्कत है.
I think I'm very happy with the buy of Sikandar Raza at 50 lakhs. I mean, he's a steal because वो batting करते हैं and bowling करते हैं, and he's done well. He's just not a part-time bowler, I would say. He's better
Yeah.
than that. He's more experienced both for his international team. Uh, तो very happy and a very handy bat actually lower down the order अगर उनको batting करने को मिलता भी है because अभी if you look at Punjab, we are looking at maybe playing a Rajpaksha. I don't know. Bairstow plays, Livingston plays, Rabada plays, and obviously now Sam Curran plays. That's fixed. So
Yeah.
Razar getting a chance is very tough. And again, if Livingston, if he's having like half a season also, I think that's going to be more than enough for him to be squad because Livingston bowls well. वो दोनों leg spin off spin डालते हैं and obviously we know how good he is with the bat. तो रजा का the only thing is that जगह नहीं है honestly. It's he's a
यार
backup but a very
50
good
लाख
backup. I mean
बैकअप ही हो गए ना, अब क्या
a
करेंगे.
very good backup certainly.
I,
But again, on coming back to Sam Curran with it, expected था that he will probably be the most expensive buyer of the tournament because like you mentioned T20 World Cup में बहुत अच्छा करा है player of the tournament थे. Uh, but ये expected नहीं था that he will be going for 18.5 crores. Honestly, it's a lot of money. We have seen players going at 16 crores, and we were surprised when Morris went for 16 crore in that season, and Stokes went for 16 crore, 17.5 crores this season. Uh, but again, with Karan, I think the experience of IPL, the experience of the T20 World Cup, he has become a very important player to any team that he goes to. Because if you see open bowling कर सकते हैं, finishes death bowling करते हैं, can bat at literally can open batting, can bat at three, or can come lower down the batting order. So I mean, he can do anything right now. Honestly, he's obviously one of the very good players right now. लेकिन very big price tag, very big shoes to fill in. I feel Punjab over the years we've seen have bought some big buys and things have not worked out for them. But interesting to see because Mohali के ground इनका home ground होगा, जगह अच्छा है, swing मिलेगा as a bowler. So we've seen Sandeep Sharma and all play for Punjab previously and get good wickets up top. So very good buy, I think so, Punjab. But I think the biggest talking point after Sam Curran bought for 18 crore is that Punjab had 12 CR still left in the purse with it at the end of the day. I want to talk to you about that. I think so. Could they have gone for some other players? Could they have still bid for Mayank? They could have easily gotten him, I feel. Or is it that,
maybe
that
Mayank didn't want to come back. Maybe Mayank didn't want to come back because see, एक होता है
no, if
कि
you
यार
remember,
आपने
they
कैप्टन
did bid
बनाया
for him with it. They were bidding for Mayank during the auction today. It was not that they didn't bid for him.
है. But I don't know. अगर मैं मयंक होता, I would probably want to play back in Punjab because आपने धवन को कैप्टन बना दिया है. Mayank is still a young person who is not playing any Indian format. ठीक है, there was a time he was playing the test, he was playing white ball to some extent, squad में होते थे. अब तीनों में squad में भी नहीं है. So he needs a very good IPL season. क्योंकि यार ओपनर्स की कमी नहीं है. शुभमन गिल है, ईशान किशन ने डबल सेंचुरी मार दी है, रुतुराज गायकवाड़ है, बहुत लोग हैं. तो यू टू सी योर पर्सनल करियर एज वेल. एंड आई थिंक आई मतलब 12 में किसी और को जरूर खरीद सकते थे. पता नहीं क्यों इतने पैसे बनाए हैं बिकॉज दे कुड हैव प्रॉब्ली गॉट वन स्पिनर. अभी राहुल चहर है और हरप्रीत बरार है. दे कुड हैव गॉट वन मोर स्पिनर जो थोड़ा बैटिंग भी कर सकते हैं, मार सकते हैं, थोड़ा यूज कर सकते थे एक इंडियन पे और कहीं पैसा लगा सकते थे. पर पता नहीं किस
ऑन
पे
एनी
लगाते हैं
इंटरनेशनल
यार।
आल्सो विद, अगर आप देखें अभी वो जो 4 फिक्स्ड बैट्समैन है, इमेजिन, आई मीन अज्यूमिंग दैट नो वन गेट्स इंजर्ड, if Bairstow gets injured or Rabada who is their replacement of Rabada? I don't see any. They don't have a backup
एलिस है
fast
यार,
bowler.
नेथन एलिस है।
I mean, he's there, but he's not. He's not a wicket. I don't rate him as high as Rabada or someone else. Honestly, I mean they could
नहीं
have
बिल्कुल,
bought
दे
Adam.
कुड हैव गॉन
Bought
फॉर अ
they
फ्यू
could have bought
अदर
anyone as a
प्लेयर्स, नो
backup.
डाउट, नो डाउट किसी और के लिए जा
So
सकते थे, पैसे बचे थे। अधिराज पर एक दो प्लेयर बताओ कौन ले सकते थे, ये इंडियन बताओ चलो पहले।
यार विदित, आई थिंक लाइक यू सेड, आई थिंक माय इंडियन ऑनेस्टली बहुत अवेलेबल नहीं थे। पहली बात तो अगर आप देखिए, एज आई थिंक दे नीडेड सम मिडिल ऑर्डर बैट्समैन। Indians are not available. Manish Pandey doesn't really suit. He's, I think, is done for the career. Mayank, you said कि अगर उनको नहीं खरीदना था, because I felt had they gotten Mayank, they would have still solved some issue there. Mayank would have batted in the 3, and that's what they were looking for, honestly. And maybe they've gotten Sam Curran with the fact that he might actually bat up the order for them. So it's a
यस,
possibility that they're going there. But see, my only assumption, my only thing was that right now I don't see a lot of backup options. I think Jitesh Sharma has been pitted to bat at 3-4 for Punjab. I think they're saying that he's done really well. But the only idea is, if you had money left, why not keep a few backups? And honestly, सबसे बड़ी बात, I think one thing that we have not been talked a lot during this auction is, this season there's an impact player available in IPL. So that importance, obviously, the fact that impact players can only be Indian players, cannot be international players. So you cannot sub off an international player. Um so the importance of that all-rounder goes down. At least an Indian all-rounder goes down, because you can play a proper batsman and a proper bowler basically. So if you think about it, I think backups होना बहुत जरूरी था, I feel. So that is where I'm coming from. कि they could have bought some people who could have just been backups, and on any given day when they can make a proper 7 bat and a 6 bowl or something like that. I don't see Punjab having that. So one or two good buys in Sam Curran, Sikandar Raza, but not happy with the overall buying process by Punjab.
आई एग्री टू सम एक्सटेंट। थोड़ा इंडियन बैकअप है, दे हैव ऋषि धवन, दे हैव नेथन एलिस है इनके पास, राजकरन आ गए, बट हाँ पैसे बचे थे तो कहीं और लगा सकते थे यार। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्क्वाड, last squad for us, Lucknow Super Giants. If you're new, you're just tuning in, do watch the video. We've discussed all the 10 squads. There's a lot of buying done, but one very, very surprise buy, and they've shown faith. West Indies didn't qualify for the T20 World Cup. Their captain got sacked.
Ex-West
He,
Indian captain, yes.
West Indian captain, yes. They did not have, the player himself did not have a good 2022 season. Had got for 10.75. वो लोग कह रहे थे वो भी ज्यादा है, क्यों दे रहे हो यार आप पैसे इसके लिए, पता है फ्लॉप होता है। और अब 16 करोड़ अधिराज, 16 करोड़ निकोलस पूरन के लिए।
आई थिंक वी टॉकिंग अबाउट, हम इसके बारे में बात कर रहे थे विदित, कि वो जो T10 हुआ है अभी,
हम्म।
उस T10 में काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म करा है। इट्स अ डिफरेंट
आपने भाई
फॉर्मेट, इट्स अ
कार्डोस,
डिफरेंट गेम।
आपने वहां पे कार्लोस ब्रैथवेट के स्टैट्स देखे आपने T10 लीग के? माइंड ब्लोइंग है।
नहीं नहीं,
अब
आई
उसके लिए
एग्री, बट आई थिंक
छोड़ी दे।
नहीं नहीं, नॉट सेइंग दैट 16.7 or 16.5 crores is justified for Puran, because the problem is कि Puran consistently has been bought for a higher price than he was bought for the previous season, अगर आप देखें over the years, and he has not done well.
या
मतलब द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट वो हमेशा महंगे बिके जा रहे हैं, लेकिन उसका कॉम्पेंसेशन के लिए वो रन नहीं बना पा रहे हैं। आई एम वेरी सरप्राइज कि 16.5 करोड़ दिए हैं लखनऊ ने। एंड आई थिंक लखनऊ ऑल्सो वेंट ऑल आउट फॉर अ फ्यू अदर प्लेयर्स, दे वर लुकिंग टू बाय some of the other bigger names, but they were outbid by other teams. I think Lucknow didn't expect कि Stoke 17.5 crore, or probably Akaran will go for 18.5 crores, because they were there in the bid for him. But again, I think there is some Gautam Gambhir, I think, is backing Nicholas Puran. I really feel, because they really trust him, because at 16.5 crores, he has to perform. You are telling him that you are more expensive than KN Rahul in this squad. You literally have to have at least a 400 run season, if not a 500 or 600 run season, at a
एंड
good strike rate.
अविनाश
Because
डोंट इवन कीप बिकॉज़ यू हैव क्विंटन डी कॉक। तो ऐसा भी नहीं कि उनको
I,
कीपर चाहिए था।
नहीं नहीं, आई थिंक इट्स नॉट अबाउट कीपर, आई थिंक इट्स दैट रोल ऑफ अ फिनिशर, बिकॉज अगर स्टॉइनिस नहीं
यार
चल पा
आपके
रहे
पास
हैं।
स्टोरेज भी है ना, आपने रिटेन किया
हाँ,
था।
आई थिंक इट्स ऑल बिकॉज, आई थिंक वही बात है, बिकॉज आई थिंक स्टॉइनिस लास्ट सीजन इतना अच्छा नहीं करा था फॉर गुजरात, एंड दैट्स वेयर द प्रॉब्लम लाइज। आई थिंक Now the batting order, if you see, it's going to be and I think we all talked about how it was very top heavy or top dependent with KL Rahul and Quinton scoring up to some 50-60% of the runs for them. So I think with them now they probably get Nicholas Puran and Marcus Stoinis at 3-4.
And
I
Deepak
think
Huda, yaar. And Deepak Huda.
so. It's Huda probably Huda Puran and Stoinis. That's what the 3-4-5 is going to look, and that makes that
Hmm.
middle order quite solid. Honestly, I think I like
And they
how it
have
is. If
Krunal
Puran,
Pandya also, yaar. उसका Krunal
yeah,
Pandya है.
if see if Puran can have a 400 plus run season, I think 16 and a half crore is not a bad amount for him. But because he bats at a faster pace, I feel it's all about because I still think in this season as well, KL and Quinton will be scoring most of the runs for them. So that foundation will be laid. They just want someone to finish the games for them. So I think if Nicholas Puran can get a 400 plus run season, uh, I think it's worth for GT because for Lucknow because last season they had no one to come in that middle order and score runs for them.
बिल्कुल, चाहे वो 400 रन मारे ना मारे, मेरे हिसाब से ये प्राइस टैग निकोलस पूरन के लिए यार एक टैलेंट होता है और एक होता है कि भैया आप कुछ दिखा दो करके। तो पूरन के लिए 16.5 करोड़ तो भाई मेरे हिसाब से पता नहीं क्या सोच के दे दिया है। मैं तो सुन के हैरान हो गया यार, मतलब मेरा दिमाग जब मैंने ये देखा ना आज ऑक्शन में, मैं ऑफिस में था, मैं कह रहा मैंने लैपटॉप बंद कर दिया। मैंने कहा भाई काम ही नहीं हो सकता, साढ़े पूरन को मिल सकते हैं खाली टैलेंट के बेसिस पे, पर बाकी बाइज ऑल एट बेस प्राइस। सदराज, जयदेव उनादकट, अगर मैं जयदेव उनादकट का 2018 से 23 ऑक्शन आपको बताऊं, मैं नंबर्स देख रहा था। 2018 11.4 करोड़, 2019 8.5 करोड़, 2020 21 3 करोड़ ईच, 2022 1.3 करोड़, 2023 50 lakhs। अलग
Uh,
ही ट्रेजेडी चल रही है। टेस्ट में वापस कमबैक जरूर किया है बट ओवरऑल अ वेरी डाउनवर्ड। एक और प्लेयर लास्ट ईयर से बिल्कुल डाउनवर्ड गए, रोमारियो शेफर्ड, सोल्ड फॉर 8 करोड़ टू एसआरएच दिस ईयर, 50 lakhs बेस प्राइस। डैनियल सैम्स 3.2 करोड़ मुंबई इंडियंस दिस ईयर, 75 lakhs बेस प्राइस। अमित मिश्रा बेस प्राइस। सदराज, जब पूरन पे इतना पैसा स्पेंड कर दिया, ये तो होना ही था, मतलब बाकी 50 लाख से ऊपर किसको खरीदोगे?
I think I agree with it. I think, like you said, ki they spent a lot on Puran. I think they started with some 20-25 CR only, so they had spent a lot on Puran itself. Uh, Again, overall, I will not say a very good auction for them because I think they should have spread the money around a few other players.
But
There
what do
were
you
other
think of
players who were will.
Bernard Kurt, Romario Shepherd, Daniel Sams, Amit Mishra? क्या लगता है?
I think
Prerab Venkat can be a okay player, but
see, if you look at the squad with it already, if I look at especially the foreigners, Stoinis will play, Quinton will play, Nicholas Puran will play, and Mark Wood. I think that's the four that I pick for them to start. So with Daniel Sams, I think Mumbai में थे last season, can bat, can bowl. So he's a good backup if Mark Wood doesn't, is unfit or is because he's slightly injury prone. But other than that, I mean, a good buy. Dan Sams obviously has done well in BBL. He's hyped as a player, but I'm okay to see Romario Shepherd and Dan Sams going at base price because they have not done enough in the IPL to say otherwise. They had been sold at a much higher price in the last few years. And like we talked about Mishra ji, he I think comes in as an experience. Even them, they have Ravi Bishnoi and Krishnappa Gautam. I think that's and probably Karan Sharma a little bit as well. But again, I think Mishra
that's
will not
Krunal
get to
Pandya.
play.
I'm Krunal Pandya. You're
I
forgetting
mean, yeah,
Pandya.
he is definitely the all rounder, but I think Krunal Pandya and Bishnoi are the ones who probably play start for GT. And again, I feel
Hmm.
Mishra, Amit Mishra has only come in as that figure who has the experience, who talks to the juniors and the younger players of the squad. So overall, I think very heavy spending on one player, which we saw by a lot of teams, by the way, but
Yeah.
nothing else to
मुंबई
bolster
की
the
भी
squad
सेम
otherwise.
स्ट्रैटेजी थी यार, मतलब हम कहते हैं द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल फ्रेंचाइजी, 19 करोड़ में से 17.5 करोड़ आपने एक प्लेयर पे दे दिए। सो व्हाई कांट लखनऊ फॉलो द सेम स्ट्रैटेजी?
No, I think they can. Not denying, not taking anything away from them because they also had more or less the squad settled. I mean, they had 8 to 9 players already ready in that 11. They just needed to find a few places. I think one batsman was needed, and they got Nicholas Puran. So it's not that they have not done well. I just felt that the money could have been distributed slightly better. Maybe Puran could have been bought for cheaper, or they could have gone for someone else in that place in that middle order because like you mentioned, even Riley Rasu, I think he's done much better than Puran over the past year or so, and
आई
Rasu has gone
बिलीव
for much cheaper price. So I think it's all about who you go for. Maybe Pooran has been a part of the plan for Gujarat, to be picked, because otherwise I don't see that as a team. I feel they could have just spread the money around slightly better. And अगर पूरन की जगह वो किसी और को 6 7 8 करोड़ में खरीदते, maybe they had an option of buying someone else at another 6 7 crores, जिसके लिए वो
अब
एटलीस्ट
पैसे
बिड
भी
कर
है यार,
पाते.
3.5 करोड़ बचे हैं अभी भी, ऐसा नहीं कि 50 लाख या 20 लाख बचे हैं. Anyway, these were the 10 squads. Just before going, we talk about some players who did not get sold. Some surprise players did not get sold. I'll talk about unsold in the overseas categories very, very quickly. Chris Joy, David Malan, Jimmy Neesham, Mohammad Nabi, Jason Roy, Rassi van der Dusen, Adam Milne, Shanaka, तबरेज शम्सी, डैरिल मिचेल, ब्रैथवेट. इनमें से बहुत प्लेयर्स हैं जो अपनी टीम के T20 वर्ल्ड कप स्क्वाड में थे. अधिराज, एनी टॉप 2 3 पिक्स जो आपको लगे यार ये तो मतलब बिकने चाहिए थे, कैसे नहीं बिके? बस नाम बता दो
uh,
आप फटाफट.
I think for me with it, Shamsi is one definitely. I feel Shamsi, Milne, and Nabi, I would have picked, and obviously Jordan. I think can also be added in the squad because England के लिए काफी अच्छा कर रहा है as a. We always call him a death bowling specialist. वो आके पिटते हैं, but somehow for England, I think he's always done well. But I think I would have loved to see some because India में है देखा अगर आप देखे जाए IPL तो Shamsi has done really well for South Africa. He's made a comeback to the T20 squad. Shamsi, Nabi can always be a backup, brings in a lot of experience, can always come and play a handy knock and can bowl up the order. So I think, especially for me, Shamsi, Nabi, and Milne could have been a backup to any fast bowler in any squad. These three are the ones that I would have seen, even if go at a base price, I would have seen them getting sold. So surprised to see them not being there. And I think you mentioned about Brathwaite had a mad T10 season and not getting picked up still. What about you? Who do you
यार एक
think?
तो और नाम जो मेरे दिमाग में आ रहे हैं, एक है डेविड मलान, एक्स नंबर 1 T20 बैटर, नॉट गेटिंग पिक्ड. ट्रेविस हेड भी है, अमेजिंग फॉर्म फॉर ऑस्ट्रेलिया, नॉट गेटिंग पिक्ड.
What
नीशम,
was head in the auction?
yes, yes, he was, he went unsold. So
I'm surprised with the current
Neesham,
form that he.
या वेरी सरप्राइजिंग. एंड मुझे थोड़ा रैसी वैंडर डूसन के लिए भी लगता है यार, मतलब लास्ट सीजन राजस्थान के लिए 3 4 गेम मिली, नहीं चले, बट ही इज गॉट अमेजिंग टैलेंट. आई वांटेड टू सी हिम बैक. जेसन रॉय थोड़ा ऑफ चल रहे हैं, सो यस. दसुन शानका, श्रीलंकन कैप्टन, इतना अच्छा खेले बिफोर द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग T20 वर्ल्ड कप. कमिंग टू द अनसोल्ड पिक्स इन द इंडियन कैटेगरी, अजराज, प्रॉब्लम इनमें से कुछ नाम होंगे जो शायद हम वापस देखेंगे भी नहीं. करुण नायर, एक जने मतलब अब आईपीएल से भी उनका बाय बाय हो गया है. थोड़ा मुझे बुरा लगता है करुण नायर के लिए.
I think one or two players with it. I was surprised if you look at Nadeem,
एक
Sandeep
बार लिस्ट
Sharma,
में बोल देता हूँ
Nadeem.
पूरी, जस्ट फॉर द यूजर्स, लेट मी जस्ट रीड आउट द लिस्ट एंड देन यू लिस्ट योर टॉप 3 प्लेयर्स. करुण नायर, संदीप शर्मा, probably last to Sandeep Sharma as well, IPL legend if you call it in some ways, a very below the radar player. Shehbaz Nadeem, Jagdisha Suchit, Priyam Garg, under 19 captain, Pawan Nik, Shreyas Gopal, Dinesh Banna, Sheldon Jackson, Ishan Porel, Varun Aaron, धवल कुलकर्णी. अदराज कोई टॉप 2 3 नाम जिनसे सरप्राइज थे, और ये इंडियंस है, मतलब जो बेस 20 20 लाख 40 लाख 50 लाख में नहीं गए.
Uh, I think again, Sandeep Sharma, obviously, like you mentioned, has been a veteran of the IPL tournament. Has always done well.
100 प्लस
Last एक दो
विकेट्स
season से.
है, 100 प्लस विकेट्स.
Certainly, I think last season से हम जानते थे कि the time has come. He obviously is not going to get picked up. But like if you're picking up the likes of Ishant Sharma, I would probably have a Sandeep Sharma ahead of Ishant Sharma because अभी भी नया बॉल से जब bowling करते हैं, he can get the ball to swing around. So I think Sandeep Sharma has one. Nadeem has done well. Under the radar जाते हैं बहुत, but अपने 4 ओवर आके मुझे bowling करनी होती है. He does well. Always does well for the squad. Pawan Negi at one point in time was RCB starting 11. Was picked up at a good high price.
और
So
सीएसके
surprised.
ने स्टार बना दिया था इनको यार, फिर डीसी गए, आरसीबी गए, 14 करोड़ के बिके, क्या क्या नहीं हुआ, और अब अनसोल्ड यार देखो.
G. So I think these three are the ones that I'm very surprised to see not getting picked up. But let's see, maybe we have some new Indian stars coming and performing well from the under 19s and the other domestic circuit. So maybe again, like you mentioned, Sandeep ke liye last season tha, probably not getting picked up next season. But again, probably Pawan, Negi, and Nadeem on any other bigger auction, we probably see them getting picked by some other
एंड
squad.
प्रियम गर्ग एज वेल यार, अभी 23 24 साल के हैं, मतलब आई एक्सपेक्टेड हिम टू एटलीस्ट गो इन सम स्क्वाड. शेल्डन जैक्सन इज यंग, ही वाज द प्लेयर ऑफ द मैच for Saurashtra when they won the final recently in the domestic tournament. मुझे
Yeah.
लगा शायद पिक हो जाएंगे, Bad for him. Ishan Purell, पंजाब के साथ इतने टाइम से बेंच पे है. People rate him very high. Again went unsold. But yes, this is not the end. Most of these players probably will come back in the main auction again. कुछ injuries होंगी, squad में वापस आएंगे. On that note, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to Sports Taza. Do like, comment, let us know in 10 टीम में से कौन से आपके टॉप पिक्स हैं, किस पिक से आप बिल्कुल ही disappointed हैं. And we'll be back tomorrow with all the 10 teams playing 11.